Hi guys, it's me again, Jen. If you're new here, I'm a Filipino living in Ireland and I'm sharing some of my stories here in my YouTube channel. I get asked about this a lot, mainly by my friends from the internet like yourselves, who probably just recently got an offer from an Irish employer and then you're trying to compare if the benefits in your offer are reasonable. Other than you guys, believe it or not, I get this question also from my friends who are already here in Ireland. They want to just check if the current package that they have is somehow comparable with other people in the same industry. And that's completely acceptable because, you want to make sure that you are compensated or remunerated correctly. And today, I finally decided to share with you guys the Irish employee benefits based on my previous experiences. Now, remember that benefits could be different based on the company's industry, your profession, the number of experience you have, and obviously the grade of your role in the company. So consider that if you want to compare this information to your current salary package. I have it listed in these pieces of paper because I want to make sure that I don't miss anything. And what I did is also categorize them into four. First would be kind of like the small ones, not too big, but they're still very nice to have. Second category, I want to call the main benefits because I believe that these ones should always be in an employee contract. Obviously, the leave credits. Lastly, I want to call it as things but no things because they're very good, but you kind of wish not to get into a point to use them. Let's start with the smaller benefits, and I have 5 points in this bucket. First is the travel insurance. If your role requires traveling, then obviously your company would have this international SOS hotline that you can call whenever you are on a business trip to make sure that you are supported in case of emergencies. In addition to that, they would also provide a travel insurance for you for the duration of your trip. Next is the flu vaccination. It is normal in a company here in Ireland to offer its employees flu shots, of course, to make sure that their employees are protected from flu, especially during the winter time. This is administered by health professionals who sometimes go to the site, or you might have an option to just go to a pharmacy and have your flu vaccine from them. This is optional. I don't think a company can require all of their employees to get the vaccine. I remember my first year here in Ireland, I didn't get the flu vaccine because my friends told me that, when I got it, I got really sick. That scared me a little bit, so I didn't get it. Guess what? 3 months later, I got the flu. Next, we have financial advice. This usually pertains to free solutions, advice, recommendations via digital platforms to help you manage your financial wellness. This would normally apply when you're applying for a mortgage or looking for tax advice, if you're thinking of making some investments, or you just want to have your financial wellness scored. This is really good, especially if you want to look at your financial health. Next, we have the Visual Display Unit or the VDU eye assessments. If your role requires you to be in front of a screen, like a laptop or monitor, all day or almost all day, then it's normal for the company to give you this offer. What it is a free eye test, and if it results to you needing glasses, then that will also be covered by this benefit. Last in this bucket would be the discounts offered by local businesses. Your employer might have partnered with businesses within the vicinity. I think it's really good, especially if you live within the area, because it could be like, 10 or 20% of products and services. For example, gym memberships, products from the pharmacies, and so on. Moving on to the main benefits, I have 6 points for you. First is the health insurance. I've experienced two types. One is that the company gives you a health insurance allowance, which you receive in cash, and then it's up to you if you want to really use it to buy a health insurance coverage. If you have this benefit, I recommend to use it accordingly because no one knows what can happen. It's always nice to be protected. And the second type is when you get an allowance only if you register to a health insurance company that is approved by your employer. Either of the two is great as long as you are protected and insured. Next, we have pension. If you are watching this video, I expect you to know what pension is. What's interesting to know about this is the percentage that your employer is going to contribute for you. The normal one would be you and your employer contributing the same percentage of your gross salary to your pension. But then there are other companies who contribute more. For example, if you select 4%, they'll provide 8%. If you say 5%, they can give 9%, which obviously is way better than equal. Next, we have the travel saver ticket. Now, this is very good for people who are commuting for work. You'll get the tax benefit on the cost of the ticket. So what's going to happen is your company is going to pay for this saver ticket, and then that will be deducted from your salary on a period of time. Next is bike to work scheme. You'll realize that Ireland promotes commute to work. So what it is you'll have a tax benefit on the cost of your bicycle. So there's a limit. If it's a normal bicycle, it's 1,250. And if it's an e-bike or electric bike, the limit is 1,500. Same with the travel saver ticket. The company will pay or will cover for the cost of the bike first, and then that will be deducted from your salary, giving you that tax benefit. Note though that you can only use this every 4 years. This next one is one of my favorites. It's called the share participation scheme. And this benefit is usually available for those roles that are eligible for bonuses. You'll be able to reinvest your bonus or a portion of your bonus to the success of the company. So what does that mean? Instead of getting the bonus taxed on that year, you can opt to invest that money to buy the company's share. And then after a period of time, you will have the option to either sell the shares or keep the shares. You'll benefit in this in two ways. First is the tax saving, because the amount that you decide to reinvest is non-taxable. So for example, 2,000. That 2,000 will not be subject to income tax, but you will still pay PRSI and USC. At least you could be saving 20 to 40% of that amount depending on your tax band. The other benefit is if the company's value is going higher, then by the time you sell the shares, you will have gains. That's double whammy, right? On the flip side, it also has a risk. If the company's value then declines, then that means by the time you sell your shares, you will incur a loss. That might offset your initial tax savings. But obviously, if you believe in your company, it is a great benefit to utilize. Last in this bucket is the tuition support. If your role requires CPD units or continuous professional development units, your company will also cover these expenses for you, like tuition fees, exam fees. They will also be giving you study and exam. The company might have some clauses. For example, if you don't pass the exam within the next 2 years, then you will reimburse them with the amount. Or if you leave the company within a certain period, then you will also need to pay it back to them. Now let's talk about the leaves. I have 25 annual leave credits, and it increases by 1 day for every 5 consecutive years that I'm with the company. So in 15 years, I will have 28 days. And then we have sick leave. And normally this differs based on your length of service to the company. For example, if you're less than 3 years, then you have 6 weeks worth of sick leave. On the other hand, if you're with the company for more than 3 years, you might have 26 weeks worth of sick leave. I also have a wedding leave. So if I decide to get married, I'll get 3 additional paid leaves. Why not? Next, we have the maternity benefit. So in the company, there's 26 weeks of paid leave. That could be extended for another 16 weeks, but then that extension will be unpaid. And normally, all the public holidays and annual leave that were accrued during that period needs to be used before going back to work. And on top of that, there's also something called the parents' leave, which could be utilized within the 2 years since birth or adoption. And that's another 5 weeks. But during this period, you won't be paid by the company. You will get a social welfare benefit instead. If you decide to use all of those, that's a total of 47 weeks. Of course, the dads get paternity leave as well, which is 2 weeks worth of paid leaves. And on top of that, they can also have the parents' leave. We also have adoptive benefit, which gives you 24 weeks of paid leave. Last in this bucket is the parental leave, which is unpaid. You can use this if you decide to spend more time with your kids before they reach the age of 12 years old. You can use this as continuous 26 weeks or separate blocks with a minimum of 1 week each block, as structured or recurring, all up to you. And the last bucket, which I called thanks but no thanks, has 5 things in it. First is the carer's leave. It's an unpaid leave wherein you can take 13 to 104 weeks if there is someone in your family that needs care from you and that you'll not be able to provide services to the company. Second is compassionate leave, paid time off for the unfortunate event that an immediate family member passes. You'll have 3 days for that. And then we have force majeure, which is 3 days worth of paid leave that are for unforeseen family emergencies. Second to the last, we have the long-term disability cover, which only kicks in after the 26-week sick leave. So normally your company will have a set percentage of your gross salary that will be paid to you, less the state disability pension. It's definitely something we don't ever want to utilize. Death in service. Normally, this is a multiplier of your gross salary that will be payable to your beneficiary. So sometimes it's 3 times or 4 times or whatever, depending on the company's policies. Actually, I have one bonus, which is the bonus. So it's always good to have a bonus included in your package because that drives your performance in the company. So sometimes it's based on your performance or the company's performance or both. It's always nice to have that extra every year. Alright, that's it guys. If you found this video useful, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and leave a comment on the comment boxes below. See you in the next video. Ciao!